every time that man ejaculates inside of you, you're absorbing his thoughts. Even though a condom can stop physical sperm, the light pushes through. The aura of that sperm pushes through into the woman because her walls are designed.
All right, we got ourselves brother Yosef. You can hear me good, brother Yosef?
Yes, yes. Peace and
All right.
blessings. Peace and
Hey,
blessings.
peace to the elder. Peace to everyone watching. Peace to all the elders watching. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about past lives, regressions, spiritual work, psychics. Should you trust psychics? There is a lot of manipulative psychics out here in the spiritual community. Some psychics give you negative fortunes for you to try to manifest them. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of spiritual manipulation here. And sometimes, that's why a lot of people have a very negative connotation towards spirituality because it's so easy to manipulate people, and a lot of people are very gullible. That's one thing we got to talk about too, is like the gullibility in the spiritual community. Why are so many people gullible in the spiritual community? Why do people believe a lot of things? Like you could just come out and just say this and then it's like boom. Yeah, how you feeling, brother Yosef?
Feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. I can't complain, my brother. All is well. All is well.
All right, so we're gonna bounce it off. So first question I want to ask you is, how can how can we tell the difference between a genuine psychic and a manipulative one?
Yep, that's a good question. That's a good question. So first of all, let me go backwards and say this. We gotta understand that at one time in society for Black people, or people, anybody that was trying to be better, a better spiritual person, at one time we only related that to religion. And at one time, it was a lot of pastors that was hustling people. So at one time, what I'm trying to say is that religion was a hustle for the Black community at one point. You know what I'm saying? Especially back in the day. And what I'm trying to say today is that in the spiritual community, spirituality is a new hustle. You know what I'm saying? And some people feel that way, like they're being. There's people who come to me and say, "Hey, I feel like I've been hustled by this person or that person, whatever." So that's the first thing you gotta understand. Don't think that this community, even if somebody call themselves a right-hand pastor, there's some of them over there that's crazy too. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is you have to know self first before you approach anything. And I believe that people get too many readings anyway. I'm one of them people. I've only had 3 readings my whole life. And you know why I've only had 3 readings? Because I know who I am. Spend some time, family, getting to know yourself. And you don't have to keep getting scammed or running into these psychics because you don't need a psychic. You're going to become psychic yourself. And that's what happened to me. I went to psychics when I needed to understand myself and want to know what's going on. I was blessed to get 3 good readings and I never went back again. Not to say I won't ever do it again, but I feel like I don't need it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So what happens is some people who don't want to grow spiritually, they're fascinated with the idea that somebody who doesn't know me can tell me something about myself. But the truth is, once you hear what they're saying to you, you already know it. You're just surprised that they know it, right? So what am I really trying to say? A lot of people go to psychics for a thrill, just to hear something you already know. So that means that you got everything inside of you to be your own psychic. You just need to trust your inner self. Trust that voice that's telling you what you need to do. Because the psychic gonna tell you this is what you need to be doing, and this is probably the 15 psychic that don't told you that, or a reading that don't told you that. You just don't want to move on. Yeah. So what am I really saying? The reason why people get scammed because you go to the psychics too much. Now, if you want to talk about a good psychic and a bad psychic, a good psychic is always going to push you to be a better person and tell you exactly what you need to hear. Right? They're going to tell you those things. If you don't need to be talking about your love life, they're not going to set you up as a psychic to keep coming back talking about your love life. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to do to fall in love. This is what you need to do. You need to look for this type of man or this type of woman, and you need to fix yourself. You need to work on your anger, or you need to work on your heart. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to do. They're not going to string it along and say, just keep coming back and, we'll, no, it's not about, it shouldn't be about the money to them. It should be about helping people. Right. And you're going to feel it. You're going to know. But if you go too much to the psychics, you're going to get scammed eventually. I really believe that because, you're going against the odds. Yeah. I would encourage everybody to take time to get to know self. And then you won't be so amazed by what these people know because you learn how to trust your own inner self.
Wow, that's spirituality is a hustle. Personally, a lot of people that I've known, they've been through a lot of scams. They've been finessed a lot. I've been finessed a lot, a few times too. It's just like it's the hustle, and I think that's why a lot of people, even you see a lot of like the DMs, people make a lot of fake accounts of spiritual people, and the next thing you
Mhm.
know, you got 7 pages of your own page. Just like
Right.
7 Rashad Jamal pages, 20 Beyond
Yeah.
5D pages. You got
Yeah.
25 Brother Yosef pages, New Life 2 pages. So,
Facts. And I get blamed for it. Brother Yosef done scam me. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me say this too. Let's go a little bit deeper with it, right? Because it ain't just about psychics. It could be about spiritual teachers. It could be about just random people on TikTok. Anybody could, and you can get scammed by anybody, right? Look for people that's balanced. Anybody who know me know I don't charge heavy prices because if I'm working on something, I feel like I should get paid for what I'm working on to send it to you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna charge you outrageous prices. You know what I mean? I keep it simple, I keep it basic, and I'm always looking to help people. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who's been around me long enough know that's true. So what I'm trying to say is look for teachers and psychics and people who their work speaks for themselves. You're getting results, is what I'm trying to say.
mm,
People have called me and said, I've got results from what you said. That's what it matters. If you
mhm,
keep going back to the same person, ain't nothing changing, that's not the person for you, whether it's a psychic,
mhm.
a teacher, whoever it is. So everybody keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. So you're saying basically the effectiveness is more important than anything. Yeah.
Absolutely. That goes to show like you should bear fruit. You know what I'm saying? If you're a spiritual teacher or a psychic, you should really bear fruit. You should be changing because what is your gift for? Your gift is to help people in the world. It ain't for you to make money only. Good. And I say only because if you go to the Shaolin temples, you want to go score in their schools, you're gonna pay. So I want to say that too. For all these people who think everything in the community should be free, you need to step your game up because maybe your wealth consciousness mindset is too low. You can't even go to the spiritual schools. I know because I'm part of two of them. You gotta pay. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna give you nothing for free. Just hope that when you're getting something, you're getting value from it. That's what I'm trying to tell people.
Mm. How do people find their spiritual system? A lot of people have sometimes hard times finding where they should start. If they should go to this system or this system or this or Buddhism or is it? Do you just go by what you resonate with, or should you get a reading to find that out?
I would recommend everybody really look and find something that is going to challenge them.
Okay.
I know too many people that's part of systems because they just want to be magical. And then when they get in these systems, they actually abandon the systems. This
Mm,
one girl called me. She was Paulo Mayombe, and she just couldn't figure out why everything in her life just wasn't. She couldn't get ahead in life. And I said, well, when the last time you've been honoring the spirits and working with the spirits of Paulo Mayombe? She said, oh, it's been like 2 years. I said, you got to go back. You got to go dig that thing up that they know about, and you got to go do what you got to do. You can't just avoid them spirits. You're initiated now, and that's what happens. People get initiated in these systems and they want to run. You can't do that. The spirit ain't gonna let you do that.
mm,
So before you get initiated to anything, think about it. Right? Think about it. I would tell people to start working on themselves. Start simple. Start learning about energy work and learning how to control yourself. What do I mean by what I'm always talking about controlling yourself? Learning how to control your emotions. If your emotions, your energy that's in motion constantly can transform your whole consciousness if you learn how to take control of it. Some people, you say one wrong thing, they ready to fight you. They ready to whatever it is, and you got to be more in control. You got to know who you are, right? You can't let every little thing bother you. So you have to be transformed by your inner energy. So what I'm saying is a book that changed my life a lot, and I tell people this all the time, was Spiritual Growth by Sanaya Roman, because it taught me as a depressed person, I was depressed for years, that I could change my energy. Like before I got into the real heavy spirituality, I studied myself first. And I realized my emotions can be affected by how I think and how I feel. It's a choice. And I didn't know that before. So
mm.
I started messing with my emotions, and I started realizing if I feel good, I can do anything I want to do. And y'all, anybody on here who's watchers know what I mean. If you just have a good positive mindset, you feeling good for the day, you feel like you can accomplish anything. So one of the reasons why people feel like they're stuck is because they're in a really low level mindset. You got to practice being positive, practice being good. If I tell anybody on here right now, say, hey, think about something that make you angry. You can think about it like that. You'll even feel it in your chest. Oh yeah, that person from the other day cut me off. My brother, my mama, my sister, my cousin. You could think about a million things to make you angry. But isn't it sad how we can't think about things that can make us happy just like that? We could just be in that vibe, or you could be mad at somebody all day long, but you can't be happy or joyful all day long. That's where you got to learn how to switch that energy. Learn how to be happy and joyful. This is the basis of magic. Your emotions is how you tap into the magical power. So you have to learn how to control your emotions. Then you can get into a system, because you need to. And I'm going to tell you guys this: get into a system with the idea of evolution, right? You want to grow and evolve in these systems, not just learn spells and magic. That's cool, but you want to get off this planet, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I definitely agree with the emotions. You was also saying, this once before, you was saying something about don't own your mind, but control your mind. How the government, they don't want to own you, they want to control you. So when I think of that, it's like, yeah, with basketball, you don't want to own the basketball, you want to know how to dribble it, you know, you know what I'm saying? So really, that's why, like, even for me, I do affirmations every day. There's one saying they say for every negative thought you get, replace it with 3 positive thoughts, and even psychology explains, if you got PTSD or whatever, they say, PTSD like a mental stab. You can't really remove it because it's like a stab, like a body stab. You gotta replace it with positive energy. So
Yes.
kind of add on, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that a lot. You definitely want to, and to go back to what you say, you definitely want to know how to control things
Okay.
and not really just own it. Because when you own it, you're trying to say it's a part of you. And if it's a part of you, you can't. It's hard to change once it becomes a part of you. So you want to be able to control your emotions. Just like in life, you want to control your business. You don't want to own it. I know that sounds crazy, but if you get you a trust, you can control your stuff and not really have ownership. Why am I saying that? Why do we want to not own things? Because ownership brings liability, meaning that you could be touched. Somebody can get you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can blame you. And if you're not attached to your emotions, if you don't own them, you can't blame. You don't have to look at yourself and say, I'm such a bad person. I'm such a horrible person. You're only saying that because you're owning what's happening to you. You're being a victim. Just control it. And that's what that book did for me. It helped me control my emotions, and I was able to do whatever I want to do with my emotions in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Before that, I was owning it. You know what I'm saying? And it was messing me up. I'm thinking that this is me. And that's something I run into with people a lot. Some people tell me they can't change. Literally, people tell me that. Well, I can't change, Brother Yosef. What do you mean you can't change? Everything in the universe changes. Why can't you change? You know why people think that? Because they feel like what they went through in their traumas, this is who they really are. You know what I'm saying? Well, look, I grew up in the hood and I had to struggle to survive. And now I'm an older person. I'm still, I'm still struggling to survive. This is why people get into the spiritual community and they scam, because they never stop getting out of survival mode. Or sometimes they're still stuck in survival mode. They never changed. This is what I worry about in the spiritual community. Too many people coming in and not being transformed. Before anybody even asks me, I already know I get this question all the time. I'm not even gonna say a name, but it's people out here that do interviews in like Vlad TV and these different people that talk spirituality. And people ask me, what do I think about this person? And the first thing I say, if you look at the person, they're not transformed. You know what I'm saying? They're not transformed. And people want to praise people like that, because it's like, if I could praise a person like that, means I don't gotta change. Right? If this person dropping knowledge and they still could smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, curse, and beat women. I'm not putting that on them, but I'm just saying, like, for example, right? If they could just do whatever they want to do and still talk spiritual game, then I don't have to change. So look how they're moving. They got money. They doing it. All that is a setup, y'all.
So you
All
feel
that's a
like,
setup.
do you feel like this is kind of a good question? I've seen some spiritual brothers, they stay in the spiritual community. And they came from the hood, they still got that gangster in them, and they say this is a part of who they are. So you feel like that's something that they can control, but they're not wanting to control that. That's just them
Absolutely,
being
100%.
stubborn. Okay, so you believe
Absolutely.
that somebody can transform from becoming from the streets completely?
Absolutely. I've seen it.
Okay. Wow.
I've seen it. I know spiritual people that's real on a spiritual path that have come from hustling, selling drugs, shooting people. I've seen people really transform and become a whole nother person. Because why would you want to relate to yourself to that? You're spiritual, and that comes from earth. That comes
Mm,
from earth. That's not you. That's how I know
mm,
you're faking. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the real you yet. And why do I say that? Because this kills it right here. This is the most important part. When you die, you can't take that with you in the heavens. They don't care about your street cred in the heavens. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? That don't matter up there. So why would you accept that down here when you could already be transformed and be on a higher level and get to them higher worlds? Right? I understand. Don't get me wrong. It's always a little bit in you, depending on where you come from. I got a little bit in me. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in a project. I've never been a street dude. Thank God. You know, I've never been a hustler, street dude. But at the same time, you grew up in a projects. You know, you grew up fighting people. You know, you grew up beating up, having to fight bullies, getting robbed, robbing other. You know, you did what you had. You might have stole something out the store. You know, because you was, you know, at one time we was all, you know, if you grew up in a project, we was all poor. You know, we didn't
mhm,
have nothing. So we had a survival mindset. So what I'm saying is you got to come out of that part of your humanity that makes you think that, well, I grew up like this. This is me. I can't change. Of course you can. You just think you can't change because you're afraid to let go. You're afraid to surrender. And this spiritual system is about discovery. Always remember that. This spiritual path is all about discovery. And you need to learn how to surrender. It's about surrendering. It really is. Because if it was the truth, then I would have been always been a depressed person and not liking people. I changed from that person and became somebody totally different. So we
mm,
can all change. Don't Your past is not you. That's just what you don't want to let go. That's all.
mm, mm. Wow, that's very transformative. You know, I know you also are you're a Scorpio sun, and I see that
Mhm.
like you know you being more in the you know you being more involved. Scorpio sun, they're known to be you know one of the most powerful signs. So that's why it's like you know a lot of students also, including me, definitely look up to you, brother Yosef, because you know the way you deliver your information is transformative. You're very effective with what you do.
Gratitude,
Everything you do
gratitude.
has a
That's all
has
I'm trying to do, brother.
works.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to do, but I'm trying to be an example. You know, I'm trying to run my organization the right way, my tribe, trying to build community. I'm trying to really be the epitome and say, you know what, he did it right. Not for show, because yeah, everybody who know me know I'm not egotistical. I just want, I feel like the community needs more examples, and I know I'm not going to be the only one. There's other examples, other great brothers doing great things, but I feel like the community also need an example. I just want to be able to help and be one of those examples to help other brothers feel like they can do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's facts. So another question we have is um how can people protect themselves when they are getting a reading? That's some things people don't know. Like, should they protect themselves?
That's a good question because there are negative psychic readers who will do stuff to pull on your energy. I know because I listen. Some of these fake ones that be on Facebook that be coming from Africa. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Not all of them. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of ones that be coming from Africa that uh you know they'll come in somebody hey da, 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 and they'll actually psychologically psychically attack you so you'll keep coming back to them. They'll scare you is what I'm saying. And I've had people, and I'll tell people, just ignore that person. Oh, but they said if I don't come back, they're going to do this and this is going to happen. Ignore them because they can't do it unless you believe it from a
Mm,
psychic perspective. We're not
mhm,
talking about magic physically. We're talking about somebody messing with you psychically because they got to break you in order to make the magic work from a distance like that. You know what I'm saying? So they try to get in your head psychically. So that happens. There's psychics out there that are dark. And I don't want to just put it all on the African brothers because there's definitely European ones and Asian. I even seen an Asian person do some negative stuff. So it happens. But at the end of the day, people, you always want to have something that can protect you sight. That makes it have something in your aura. So when they're trying to read you and they scan you, or the spirits behind them are scanning, it's harder to get into your mind because you have a psychic block. And that's important. You can do that by chanting mantras and mantras while they're talking to you. Mudras work to some extent, but you're gonna need to put a mantra with that. Um, but mantras, repeating them in your head while these people are talking to you, can be a psychic block. Also wearing certain, y'all know I talk about the helm of all
mhm,
heavily. That's something you can put, and when it's in your aura, it's harder for people to read you psychically. It's harder for people to attack you psychically. Even in the dream world, it's harder for people to attack you in the dream world. And the 8-pointed star is the next level above that. So I would recommend doing things like that. But if you don't have nothing on you, find a very powerful mantra like Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Repeat that in your mind while it's a person talking to you. You feel like you don't really want to be there. You feel like they're getting in your head. Repeat that in your mind while they're talking, and that will block them.
Is it so? What about Om Gam Ganapate Nama, which is the Ganeshi?
The Lord Ganesha.
Yeah, Lord Ganesha.
That's good too, because he's the road opener and road. But make sure it's one that's not talking about wealth. Make sure it's something that's actually talking about defense. And there's the Lord Ganesha ones for defense. But
Okay.
just make sure it's the right one. And yeah, that can help. But I would say the one that can help the most would be Om Mani Padme Hum. Because it slowly puts a field around you. If you keep, and especially that hum part, you can actually just keep saying hum. Hum, hum. That is the actual seed form in the old Mani Padme Hum. That hum part is a seed form that actually gives power to the whole mantra.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, some people don't know that. So
I know it's such something so simple.
Yes. Every mantra has a seed form. And sometimes it's the word Om. Om is powerful too. But hum is a very powerful, y'all can look this up. Hum is a very powerful word of power that you can keep repeating, and it's like a shield of energy around you. They even got some necklaces that just have hum on it, HUM. It's a very powerful protective shield, and it gives power to the Om Mani Padme Hum.
You ever heard of the mantra called or Ara Kara?
Sounds familiar. I
Yeah.
can't really speak on that right now. It sounds
Yeah.
familiar. Where it come from?
It comes from like kind of like Ra, because Ra, anything with the word I, it lets you to release a form of energy. And Ra also is the sun, it's the fire element, which helps to manifest and materialize your thoughts. Yeah. So
Now let me
another
say
point.
this real
Oh,
quick.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
If you got enough, if you can control your emotions enough and think positively, you can actually speak words in just English and have a very powerful effect on your reality, because you're putting a fuel behind it of emotional power, positivity. And that can actually, so English words of power is good too if you can put emotion behind it. Don't just say it, put emotion behind it, and that helps as well. So if you're saying words like I'm protected, I'm safe, and you're thinking about something positive and you have joy or happiness, that can act, or gratitude, that can actually help as well.
Okay. I like that. Okay, so is it okay? How can someone develop their intuitive abilities to be less dependable on psychics? Because like how you were saying, a lot of people are dependable on psychics. I feel like you said something before too. Humans naturally are always trying to rely on like other humans to be told something they already know. I don't know, like that's just like a human nature thing. So how can people be less dependable, like and work on their own internal to just know?
Yes. So
And
one of the best
would you say it's a confidence thing?
to be more psychic, have more psychic
To
abilities.
trust, to be less dependable on less people, and then to be
Yeah.
more.
Oh, absolutely. It all comes with getting past fear. It's the
Yeah.
only reason why we depend on anything, and the reason why we can't move forward on anything, because we're afraid. And people have put up all kind of distractions, and they'll procrastinate in all kind of ways to pretend like they're not afraid. But then the people I don't believe the most. You know what I'm saying? Some people
Yeah.
supposed to have done stuff already, record labels, books, music tracks, YouTube channels, whatever it is you're supposed to have already done. The reason why you're not doing this is because you're putting stuff in front of it on purpose. I've been talking to thousands of people for years, right? I know, I'm trained, I understand and know when a person procrastinating and when they're wasting time. And they'll say, no, but this is real important. I gotta take care of one more thing. No, you don't. You just don't want to do it. You're putting stuff in front of you on purpose. And some people are afraid of their own success. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, everybody is naturally psychic. Everybody is born that way. Most people don't know, but you if any person that's really psychic, you can actually look at a baby, and all babies, you can hear them like trying to communicate. You can hear babies trying to communicate. Babies are naturally psychic, but because their aura is so thick, they also have a psychic shield up. But I'm not gonna say how you can open up a baby and get them to be more like that, because some people might have bad intentions. But I'm gonna tell you guys how you can be more psychic. What you can do. I want you guys to um take a candle, right? Take a white candle, and I want you to put some sea salt around the bottom of the candle and some honey on the bottom of the candle, all around the bottom of the candle. And I want you to set that white candle right on top of the sea salt and the honey. And if you got a glass candle, put a little sea salt and honey at the top. But I recommend getting a candle with no glass, sea salt and honey on top of it. And I want you to stare at that candle for like 10 minutes a day. Just stare at the candle. And what's going to happen is, and I'm telling you, because I've done this, and I've helped other people open this up. You want to just stare at that candle, family, and you want to look directly, not so much at the flame, but look around it, right? And what's going to happen is, as the candle moves and flickers, you're going to start to see faces. You're going to start to see, this is guaranteed, right? If you do this like for at least the next 7 days, you're going to start to see faces. You're going to start to see buildings. You'll see weird stuff. Like, for no reason, the first time I did it, I saw a hot air balloon. And I don't know why I saw it, but that's what I saw. I went with it. Whatever you see, go with it. Now, if you start seeing faces, negative faces, that goes to show you need to do some work, because your negative side is trying to block you. It wants you to stay human. It doesn't want you to grow. We have to understand that about ourselves. And I know the teacher's been saying it for years. The master teacher's been saying it for years. Your humanity is blocking you. That's why I tell the brothers and sisters that I think they still need to be part of gang organizations and your spiritual. It's blocking you. It's keeping you human. There's no gangs up there. It just
I know you were saying one. You were saying one thing, brother Yosef. You were saying that you was telling me to create a new name, and you tell some of your students to create a new name, because if you keep going by your government name, that keeps you in a human mindset. It keeps you limited.
That too. Absolutely, that too. That also blocks you from growing. We have to create something. So we have to create a whole new thing. Brother Yosef is my higher vibrational way. I speak on my more evolved self, and then I have other titles, right? But Brother Yosef is my way. I speak to my more evolved self. We have to get rid of our humanity. It is really our detriment, and it's blocking us from becoming, because we think that this is us and it's not us at all. So you're going to see negative faces if you have work to do. Stop doing it at that point. Don't do it no more. Work on yourself, because you'll see worse faces. Trust me. Work on yourself, meaning that work on your emotions, work on your heart chakra, work on your mindset, and then come back into the practice. And eventually, when you start seeing stuff all the time, you don't need to do it no more. What's going to happen next is I want you to go outside and start looking around and just staring at stuff. And what you're going to notice is you're going to start seeing auras. You're going to start feeling vibrations. And you're going to start picking up on things empathically first. Those feelings are going to turn into voices when you meet the right person or when you meet the right thing. So I'm at a point now, I can't talk to animals yet, but I'm working on that. But I can actually speak to crystals. They can tell me things. And if a person is open telepathically, which I've done a few times, I can have a whole conversation with you. I know how to open my mind up and have a whole conversation with you telepathically. If that person's open, that's where it can get to. But you want to start with that practice.
How do spirit guides feel about humans relying heavily on psychics? How do our ancestors feel when we rely so much on people?
I'm gonna tell you, they rather you rely on them.
Okay.
They rather you build a relationship with them and rely on them, because everybody to this day is not where they need to be. It's a lot. Being honest, a lot of people that ain't what it is, and we have to be careful out here, y'all. We have to be careful, and and I don't want to take it away from the good, solid people that are good psychics out here and good people. You know what I'm saying? But I just want everybody who's new to spirituality, work with your spirit guides and your ancestors. Y'all, anybody who know how I teach stuff on my Patreon channel, whatever, I always tell people, start with your ancestors first. Your ancestors is your first line of defense. Make sure your ancestors are good, because in the quantum realm, they live there. They live inside of you. And if they're getting more light and more energy and they're living better, yes, people still live on the other side. That's why they call it the afterlife. And if they're living better lives over there, it's going to reflect into your DNA, and your DNA is going to expand, and you're going to be living a better life over here. There's some people who live great lives and have great wealth because their families were wealthy all the way back in other countries. And they never really struggled. They never really had any hard times for generations. And to this day, they're still getting into Harvard, and they're doctors and lawyers, or they have really successful businesses. because they're families. Because they're families. And I remember one time I met this Ethiopian girl, and she was telling me all the way back in her line, all her father, her aunts, they're all medicine people. They always been the one in the villages taking care of people. And she's a doctor today. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. If you was a medicine person, you and your family was always okay. And now in this generation, it manifests you being a doctor. And her children most likely would be doctors or medicine people. That's what I'm saying. It goes through. So if your generations are blessed, even in the afterlife, it's going to bless you in this lifetime.
Hmm. Now, would you say that every person has a form of karma in this life since we are on Earth?
Yes,
Okay.
everybody has karma, and that's important. Please, y'all, take that serious because that's why some things don't work out for some people. You ain't dealt with your karma, right? And I
I
would say
do.
one of the worst levels of karma be relationships.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was like, everybody talks about financial karma, family karma, but then I heard that relationship karma is real because people be
Yeah.
having like, get beat up and they do love spells and then they be getting cheated on and can never find. It's like they got 6 months. It's like a mess, like a reality
Or
TV show.
worse. Or worse, man. One time I don't do readings no more, right? But one time this girl was telling me some stuff so crazy a year ago. I had to pull out my rooms. And that's how I used to do my readings back in the day. I used to do room readings. I said, hold up, sis, I gotta, and she was saying that, her the person she with, she loved him to death. She don't know why she loves him so much, but he threatened to kill her all the time. You know what I'm saying? Every time they get upset, he's gonna kill her. And I said, sis, you might want to take that seriously. Because if I look into your past energy, it's been you or him in past lifetimes. So what I'm saying is she's killed him in one lifetime, and he's killed her. You know what I'm saying? And this is a continuous cycle. This is why no matter what happens, she loves him. She can't, and he feel the same way. This is one of the work where the karma of relationships go to the worst because people relationships be so bad and toxic until they hurt each other, and it just keeps happening in every lifetime, and it don't stop. So if you're in a relationship like that with somebody putting their hands on you and hurting, it's not. It's because it's happened before, right? Every person you sleep with sexually, you slept with them in a past life.
Every person?
Every single person. Yeah, and you slept with them in past life, and y'all
So
meet, and y'all
wow.
trying to fix it. Y'all trying to. We meet different mates. We're trying to see who's best for us. So we fix it, and we try to see which one is going to fix it in his lifetime. That's what it is. So when you fall in love and you meet your true soulmate, that's when all the other people don't matter no more. This is why they tell you when you have sex with a person, you're married to them for 7 years. Their true marriage is sexual. So as soon as sex happens, you're married to that person energetically for 7 years. This is why when you leave them, you can't stop dreaming about them. You feel like they coming back doing the Mercury retrograde. Everybody know that's true. Mercury retrograde, here come the old person. They start texting and trying to get your attention. This all happens because of karma that has to be fixed. So all I'm saying is figure out who you want to be, right? It's going to sound crazy what I'm about to say, but it's true. There's some people who are spiritual who they just have sex with people. They don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to be tied down. They want to just have fun and do what they do in a grown-up person way. And then they go about their business. And I tell people like that, if that's the case, tell a person what it is from the beginning. Hey, I'm looking to have fun. I'm looking to just, and I'm not looking for nothing serious. The problem is people don't go into a relationship saying that. And then the person get hurt. And then the issues happen. But if you go into a relationship saying that, you're signing a contract with this person. And you're defeating a lot of the karma that you can create. Because this person know what it was from the beginning. There's no karma for that. Now, if you're a person that wants a relationship and you're looking for a good wife or a good girlfriend, then you want to slow down on how many people you date because you don't want to get into the wrong one. Really take your time, have some patience, and sit back and we don't date no more. I'm not that old. I'm 44, but back in my day, people were still going on dates. Sometimes you got to take your time, young brothers and young sisters, and go out with a person and get to know them for like a good 3 months before you sleep with them. You know what I'm saying? And because you may take 3 months and find out this person ain't who they are. And if they forcing their sex, then they may need some help. So take your time, y'all. Be patient, and then just take your time, even in the spiritual community. Everybody in who they seem to be. So just take your time with it, family, is what I'm saying. And you'll see the karma will deplete.
So someone who relationship hops or they just sleep around, live a very free lifestyle, later on in life, I heard it's harder for them to find a relationship because they hurt so many people, especially if they hurt people. That
Uh,
is that's true.
you're creating some really bad karma. That's
Mm.
why I tell people there's contracts. I could do a whole thing on just contracts, but a verbal contract is real.
Oh
When
wow.
you tell a person, "Hey, this is who I am. This is what I want," and you stand on that, and that person agrees, okay, we don't have to catch feelings. I see you every Tuesday, see you every Friday. You know what I'm saying? And y'all agree to that. Maybe you chasing money, maybe you a Fortune 500 company, or you trying to build your life and you ain't got time for a girlfriend. Maybe later. But right now, hey, we all got needs. I see you when I see you. If that person catches feelings, that's not your karma. That's their karma because
Okay.
they're breaking the contract. We're going to agree. This is important that people do this before you get into something that you don't think you want to be into. Because we all are down here, we're humans and we all have natural human needs. So you're
Yeah.
going to be attracted to it, no matter if you want to be with a person or not. You're going to be attracted to the opposite sex. Some people attract to the same sex, whatever you choose. If you don't want to be serious with this person, don't get with them. Do what you do, and then just say I'm good, and then leave this person. You're going to create some bad karma for yourself.
Mm.
You don't know how many times this person been hurt. They probably don't have had enough. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that to people. Say what it is. And that's the problem I see a lot of young people run into a lot. They don't say what it is. They just go with the flow and see what happens. And then feelings get caught. And then
So
people have
basically, you saying, brother Yosef, that like going with the flow was kind of bad.
it
Mm.
is. It is. There have to be contracts put in place because sex is a very important thing. Under love in the universe, the most powerful force is org energy. Dr. Blair broke that down.
Mm.
ORG, org energy. Org energy can create life. It is life. It can create. But where does humans get org energy from the most? Sex. It's when you have an orgasm, right? So when
Mm.
you create orgasms with multiple people and you're breaking hearts, you're creating bad forces for yourself. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? And like I said, every person you sleep with, you're married to them. So a person might want to slow that down and decide who do I want to be right now? Who do I want to be right now? You know what I'm saying? Or to find out who that person wants to be and go from there. But that's important. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. If you a person, you spiritual, this ain't no church we in. You know what I'm saying? I know people call the right path love and light. It ain't no love and light over here, as far as I know. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we do respect people and be generous people. So at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're. This is why it's important, y'all, to get people that are standing on certain morals and characters, so they'll treat you right. That's important,
Yeah.
right? So even as you spiritual, hey, you're gonna have needs, do what you do, but make sure you're respecting people by saying, hey, this is the contract I want to put out there. And then there's no karma based on that.
Now, a good question I have for you is who controls this karma? Is it like the universe? Is it their ancestors? Is it your ancestors? Is it a karma god? Like who's giving you people who treat people wrong relationships? Who's serving the karma?
So at the end of the day, based on what you did, you is the karma you get back. So there's justice in this world. There was no such thing as karma, there will be no justice for nothing. Because what people are getting back is their karma, right? And at the end of the day, based on what you do, you bring this thing back into you. You create it in so many words. So let's say you with somebody and you got a wife and you cheat on your wife and you leave your wife stranded and she got kids and everything. You just leave her stranded. You just created some bad karma for yourself because you had a responsibility. There's certain things a man supposed to do. As a man, he supposed to provide and take care of his children, and you just abandoned all that. You abandoned all that. So now you're going to have karma coming back. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with abortions, right? So when you abandon your family, you're gonna have karma coming back, and you created that. So now you have to deal with it. That's where that comes.
Mm. Mm.
It's all based on you. That's what.
So
And at
is
the end
it
of the
is
day,
it
karma it's just a lesson.
but is it like the karma who's is it like an energy that just flies in the air or is it a spirit? It's
It,
karma a spirit?
it's something that it's the energy. It's
Okay,
just
it's
the
just
energy,
energy. It's
right?
just energy.
It's negative energy. Let's look at it like that. There's
Okay.
negative energy that is based on that's created. Just like
Right.
you can create a positive lifestyle, you can create a positive energy for yourself that can wrap around you and be your and like prime example. Everybody know you do good things come back to you. They call that dharma, right? Good dharma. So you good, you bless people from your heart without looking for nothing back. For some reason, you just get blessed back. That's how the universe works. You do negative things. You can't tell me it's a dude out here robbing people every day. He grew up and have a family. He's not ever going to get robbed. Of course he is. It's just a matter of time because you put that energy out there. It's going to come back in some kind of way. It's going to come back. It may wait, but it's going to come back to somebody. You will get it, even if you get it in the next lifetime. That happens too. So some people have purposely hurt people emotionally in different ways, and you know what happens? They come back in the next life. They have sicknesses. They ignore people. They do people dirty. They come back with sicknesses, and these sicknesses now they need people to take care of them.
Yeah. So the question that it makes me beg to ask is, how do you make someone take this stuff serious? Because even as you're saying this, there's gonna be some people, yeah, but I want to experience life. I don't take it serious. What makes someone take this stuff serious? Because it seems like every person you talk to, you have to take it extremely serious, or else you're gonna build karma.
Yeah. I'm the type of teacher like this now. I used to be sweating bullets trying to get people to see my point, even in spirit. I don't care no more. I don't care. I tell you what you need to hear now. And I know I'm good with, I know I told you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to do the right thing by at least telling a person what they need to look out for, what they need to do. If a person don't believe in karma, I'm like, hey, that's great. I go on about my life. I know what you do don't affect me. You know what I'm saying? But if I know I told you, hey, karma's real, and a person don't believe it, I walk away. And that's how arguments start. People say, I don't believe in karma. And I'm sitting here trying to force you to believe in it. I'm wasting my energy. You see what I'm saying? So I just tell you, just like I tell people, hey, dragons are real. This deity is real. The person say, I don't believe it. Cool, no problem. You don't have to. God bless you. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
believe like that.
The relationship karma is real. Me myself, I've talked to a few women, and I didn't really want a relationship. This is like when I was younger, and then later on, I met a woman, and then like kind of the same thing happened to me. You know what I'm saying? It was like I had to feel what I did to the woman before, and I was like, oh crap. And then I was like, so then I stopped doing that. I really just like I started to really be like, okay, if I'm gonna, be intimate with somebody, I'm gonna make sure that I really want to be with them. I'm just not gonna just, I think that's just a man thing, saying when you're younger. But I had to learn that, okay, yeah, saying like universe really out here, really you just like really playing chess,
Right. Oh, you think you
saying?
got away with that, young blood? Huh? Okay, we'll see about that. So yeah, that's how it does. I know. Let me say something. I know a spiritual dude right now who've been living like this for years. He's not married. He doesn't have any children, but he's been a single guy, and he tell women what it is. He's had no drama. You know what I'm saying? He's been with multiple women throughout the years, and he practices spirituality. He do what he do. He's had no drama because this is what he stands on. So I know it works when you tell a person from the beginning what it is. And if a person, he's had a few times, you catch feelings and you want to talk about it, and you feel like this, okay, well, maybe we just shouldn't be together no more. Because now you're breaking the contract.
Yeah.
And everybody goes on their way.
Well, he had no drama. Maybe he choosing high vibrational woman?
That's another thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he found
You could
women
tell.
who, that's a good point, brother. That's a
Yeah,
really important.
I say that because you could tell somebody what it is, and I promise you, they could still catch feelings. That's just from what I learned.
He's dealt with that a few times, but the woman was understanding, and they had. I'm gonna tell you, look, brother Yosef ain't no player, but I'm gonna give y'all some game. You know what I'm saying? You choosing a woman. Most men choose women that got something to lose. That way she can't blow up and act crazy and try to kill you because she got babies to think about. She got children. Most men say, well, I ain't messing with no woman with children. Well, most men do because he knows she got a certain set of morals and character she got to live by because she got children. So he may sit back and watch how does she raise her children? Is her children doing well? Most likely, if she by herself and got 2 kids, she don't got time to be in a relationship sometimes. She just may want to, do whatever she do every now and then too. This happens in the world. I know real people who deal with stuff like this. So y'all may just bless each other every now and then. But when he's around, he treats you like a queen, and you treat him like a king, and then y'all both go y'all separate ways. Hey, my car broke down, I'm gonna help you out. It's just that type of thing. But she not saying, hey, why you ain't come around? So why you out of town? Who you talking to? It ain't none of that. But she knows she's not the girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, yes, when you choose a higher vibrational woman, and she's not negative, she don't have no hate in her heart. And sometimes she could be single, but sometimes a lot of men do that with women with children because they feel like it could work better that way. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brothers, if I put the game out there. I'm just telling people what it is. I've known people that do that.
Yeah.
And if the sister catches feelings, then he said, "Hey, you know what this is? I think that this is where we probably gotta call it quits because you're catching feelings, and it's gonna turn negative between us. We had a good run. Everybody move on about their business."
Okay. So spiritually speaking, it also begs me to ask the question: if somebody's dating somebody or in a relationship, they agree to, only talk to each other. Let's say one partner cheats, but they never ever get caught. And I'm talking about it goes, months and years, they never get caught. The other person doesn't know. Is that gonna build karma if the person doesn't know and no feelings are involved?
For that person, yeah, they're gonna get it back in some kind of way. Absolutely.
Really?
And usually what happens is somehow way it comes out.
Really?
It's very rare that a person been cheating for years and it don't matter if it takes 10 years to find out. It's a good chance that person gonna find out you cheated on some kind of way. I've seen it happen like that. I've seen people who cheated on somebody in marriages or relationships, and they don't know for 6 years that this person cheated on them 1 or 2 times. 6 years later, 7 years later, I've even seen 10 years, the truth comes out of nowhere. Somebody started talking. And then they find out this person cheated on them years ago and just kept it quiet. And that really hurts because it's like, man, you've been sleeping next to me. I've been helping you. Sometimes they even got children. And for 10 years, you never said nothing. And that's pretty much over with it at that time.
Yeah, at
so
that point,
yeah,
it's wraps.
yeah, it's a wrap. So it happens though, and so that's the karma that comes back. Person think they got away, and now they got nobody. They broken hearted because now everybody know the truth. You cheated on Johnny. You cheated on Timmy, or Timmy cheated on Lisa. Whatever.
Right. So you would say that it's karma because they've agreed that they're gonna stay loyal. They made a verbal contract.
There you go. Contracts.
Verbal
It's a
contract.
whole thing on spiritual contracts. It's not just about sex, but it's about when you say something, you're bringing it to life. And when you and a person agree on something, like if I agree that you're my girlfriend, and we stay together based on what I said, the universe holds you to that. You can't keep telling somebody one day, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna kill you. They're gonna do it one day.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for the right circumstance, the right atmosphere. It's gonna happen,
It's kind of like working with a spirit. You gotta give an offering. You gotta make sure, or you owe them an offering. You gotta do it. You can't just beat around the bush. The same thing with
So
a
what I'm
person.
saying, you're creating a thought form. And some people dream. So if a person want to cheat, they'll start dreaming about it at first. They'll dream about themselves cheating. Every time you dream about yourself cheating or you imagine it, you're feeding a thought form. This thought form is trying to come into your reality eventually. It's trying to be made manifest.
So you're saying when someone cheats, sometimes it's not them, it's just another demon trying to make them cheat.
I don't want to call a thought form a demon because a thought form is something you create. Okay. This is something that people don't know. We have so much power and creativity. We just put it into the wrong things. You see what I'm saying?
I thought we're not our thoughts, Brother Yosef.
We're not our thoughts, but you can create thought forms that are a part of you, and they can do their own thing. So let me give you an example. And I talked about this years ago. You can think about slapping your boss at the job every day. Every time he piss you off, and you think about, I'm about to slap this dude, or I just want to slap him. You're feeding a thought form. Every time you imagine, right? Imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Energy goes where intention flows. Your intent is to slap this man one day if he keep talking to you like that. In the astral plane, you're feeding that, right? You're feeding that thought form. Now, some people don't do it because they get a new job. Something else happens, and the thought form dies. Right? I'm gonna keep it real. I had a job one time in my early 20s. I hated my boss. Actually, I said this is back when Medal of Honor. Before Call of Duty, there was Medal of Honor, right? And Brother Yosef is being there playing PlayStation Medal of Honor, and I said, imagine shooting my boss. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't spiritual at this time. I was still in the church. This is early 2000s, like 2002. So I'm imagining shooting my boss. I didn't know back then, but I was creating a thought form. And every time he pissed me out of the job, I would just imagine, I'm gonna go home and shoot this dude tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's how I have to think. But I'm telling people, you're creating a thought form that's looking to be fed. It could take years before this thing manifests, but eventually, it's going to be the right day. Maybe your mama died, somebody you hit your car. It's going to be the right atmosphere, and you're going to lose it. That's what's
Mm,
going to happen, right?
mm,
So you can't keep saying things out of your mouth or imagining things and not thinking it's gonna line up some type of way. If things don't change, its goal is to manifest into the physical. So I don't
mm.
want to call it a demon. It's a thought form, totally different than a demon.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. There was some, it was a few women I talked to who've been through a lot of trauma in their past, just, going through like, being raped and stuff like that through their exes. And, there's things that they can't get out their mind, like just beat up. And it's like, I realized that sometimes these women will try to heal through a relationship. And sometimes a man, he didn't like go to school to be a therapist. He doesn't know how to exactly feed your mind healing because it's not that's not his, he doesn't know that. So
Right.
I see sometimes it's like, I don't know if you promote therapy. Sometimes I feel like
I
people
do.
need therapy to go into a relationship as well. What do you think about that?
Yes, I do agree with that. I do believe in therapy. I think people need it because sometimes a family member could be talking to you, telling you how you need to fix things, and only a therapist knows how to get through to you. They know how to break it down little by little and get you to see, oh, I see it now. And plus, that can help people release a lot of the energy. They feel more comfortable talking to that person. So I
Mm.
definitely agree with therapy. But at the same time, to go into what you were saying, what was you just saying? You were saying something about man, I forgot what you were just saying, brother.
I was saying when someone can't heal from their past and they can't get thoughts out their head, because I heard when you go through
Yes,
some traumatic, you're stuck in your head, and you're always trying to heal through,
yeah,
just trauma, so much trauma. Yeah.
yeah. I want all my sisters who watch this to pay attention and be very careful because you got to be sister. Women have to be very careful with the company they keep and the men they sleep with. Because every time that man ejaculates inside of you, you're absorbing his thoughts.
Mm.
Before you was born, you was just a thought. Understand that, right? You was a thought in your father's mind and in your mother's womb. You was just a thought, and that thought became manifest. So you can impregnate a woman with thoughts, negative thoughts. That's not even got nothing to do with a baby. And every woman knows this. If you dealt with a dude that was a street dude and he dealing with a lot of trauma, I'm gonna tell you, I've talked to most street dudes who running. Maybe they got ops and got issues. They go home, they release it into their woman. Straight up. You can even go watch the movie Belly. Was it Belly? No, Power.
Yeah.
Power when
I love
he
how.
was sleeping with his wife that day and he was going in and he's thinking about all the people he killed.
So you're
You see what
saying
I'm saying?
when he releases it, you talking about he ejaculates his
Yeah,
negative energy into the woman.
yeah. And
Ooh,
ejaculation is life.
his
The
life.
science is true. Sperm is not with liquid light.
So she's
The
the
man,
one now that walks around with this negative like energy.
And guess
Wow.
what? Even though a condom can stop physical sperm, the light pushes through. The aura of that sperm pushes through onto the woman because her walls are designed to absorb energy, not just physical matter, but energy. It's a
Mm,
wormhole. It's a black hole.
yeah.
So sisters got to be very careful whether a man wearing a condom or not. You're magnetic by nature, and
Yeah.
under love, org energy is magnetic energy. Is the most powerful energy, magnetic.
Yeah.
So, and that's why women comes before the men. So, with that being said, sis, you got to be careful because your walls are literally designed to absorb energy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
So
isn't
you
it
got to be
true
careful.
that yeah, isn't it true that a woman she can easily just take a spiritual bath to wash away those negative men in her past? You know how some you know, women they slept with a good amount of men, and then a man's like, man, you better wash that energy away. Is it true that she could wash it all away?
It ain't always that easy. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It ain't always that easy when it comes to a woman because her body is designed to be magnetic.
mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, men can absorb things too, but a woman, meaning that you're so sometimes you ever notice every man knows the truth. You start dealing with a woman long enough, you sleeping with her, you living with her, about 2 or 3 months in, she starts to act like you. Am I lying? She starts to joke like you.
Well, she starts to eat the same meals like you. She become
Yes,
vegan. If you vegan, she starts to get, yeah, it's true. She'll get a little bit
it's
more
the truth.
masculine. She'll get a little bit more
Yeah.
masculine too.
Right. She'll do the same jokes that you do. She will literally start acting like you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been with my woman for 20 something years. She's a female brother Yosef now. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, ladies, you are literally designed to absorb everything from your man because your job is to support this person. He's supposed to lead the way. You're supposed to be supporting him. So you're going to become one with him. Don't get me wrong. There's some things about you that's he's going to absorb as well. But because he's by nature he leads, you're going to absorb more of him.
Right. So I feel
You're
like
more
that.
magnetic.
So it's like, even if you've been with if you're with a woman and she's been with a good amount of men, the longer you're with her, the more she's becoming you. So it doesn't even matter. She's becoming
I'm
you
not
anyway.
going to say it don't matter, but she will become you more. But this is also why she may blame you for stuff that you never did. Oh, I know you're talking, or she may have a natural jealous thing. She's naturally jealous because of what some other dudes dealing with and the thoughts she's had about other dudes. And you never cheated on her, but if you do one wrong little move, she think that you're cheating on her, or she's being jealous about something. He's like, I didn't do nothing. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's because of past trauma she's had with other guys. You see what I'm saying? And men, we don't think that way. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, women will sometimes they will blame you for something that you never even did because of their traumas. They've been absorbing a lot of men over the years. So let's say a lady in her 40s and 50s, she hasn't been married yet. She's been dealing with different dudes. Maybe she has been married once or twice. Maybe she got a couple children, whatever, right? But the sister being naturally magnetic, because I don't want women to think I'm putting y'all down. I'm trying to explain the science of it. You're
Yeah.
naturally magnetic. You have to be careful of the company you keep because you're going to absorb. You can't take that into a new relationship. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know fully who this man is going to be yet. You can't hold him accountable for what somebody else did in the past. You see what I'm saying? But it happens, brothers. And any man who's been in a relationship, they know it happens. A woman can hold you for things that you never did to her. You know what I'm saying? Or she'll have a fear of you leaving her or something like that. And it's like, where's this coming from? She's got left before. You see what I'm saying? So I just want all the sisters to be careful and look at it's some good sisters out here, like Sister D-Ray Wise. They do womb healing. You know what I'm saying? Get some sisters that teach you about healing your womb, right? From all these destructive energies that could have happened over the years, so you can be fully cleansed and healed.
Well, that's some really good information, really, Yosef. Because it's like, I always like relationship content because I do see that, me being a Pisces, I do read a lot of energy, and that's what I see. I see people got like bad relations with karma. I've been in some pretty toxic connections myself, and I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? But I've healed it by being in a healthier one. So I'm like, okay, this is like a good chess game. You can have bad financial karma, you can have bad relationship karma. You can have bad. What's some other ways we can have bad karma?
Everything, you name it. You know what I'm saying? You could do bad business and pray bad business karma. Well, you got a business going, but somebody keep trying to screw you in your business because you don't create a bad business karma. You don't stole from people, lied on. You know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
create karma in so many ways. But listen, you create karma when you eat food.
Wow.
Absolutely. You create karma from eating food. You keep eating you keep purposely eating bad food. What's going to happen? You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
Some karma is justified by the universe because you don't have a choice. What am I talking about when I say that? Some karma is justified by the universe because you don't have a choice. Well, when you eat plants, they're alive.
yeah, I heard about that.
I gotta watch what I say because the boy years ago the vegans was pissed at me for saying this. But I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. When
No,
you
shoot.
when you put living that broccoli and that celery, know it's about to be disintegrated in this juicer. It's living, it's alive. So my whole thing is like we have to kill life to eat down here. We have to take life, whether it comes from vegetables and fruit or whether it comes from meats or whatever. We have to take life in order to gain life down here. You see what I'm saying? So that's another form of karma, but it's justified if you do it the right way.
Mm, wow. I heard also eating unhealthy can create karma for your family too, because your children,
Yes, facts.
you're creating like basically diseases later on in your bloodline. So eating healthy is selfless. Eating unhealthy is selfish when you eat
Yeah.
unhealthy.
And let me say something about that. That's so true because that comes in so many different forms. So,
Yeah.
there's people who I'm a big guy. Brother, you're also a big guy. I'm grateful I have no serious issues, but at the same time, there's people who skinnier than me that are all kind of diabetes, heart attacks, and they leave the planet earlier, right? And they look pretty much solid and healthy. Look at Michael Duncan. He used to be in the gym every day. He had a heart attack and died. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is sometimes the health karma can come over into the new life when you finally get it together, or you don't look like you unhealthy, but all of a sudden a disease kicks in. You see what I'm saying? So I want to warn people that your health can also be affected by the negative energy you hold. So if you treat people mad and you always angry every day, you're going to affect your kidney. You're going to affect your kidney from anger, right? If you have a lot of if you gossip about people, you talk bad about people all the time, you're going to affect your lungs, right? It's going to something that's going to happen.
Wait,
Or
you
if you
said your
talk negative
lungs?
about yourself,
You
huh?
said so? You're saying basically saying people who gossip a lot, they can get lung issues like
If you
asthma.
gossip in a negative way, yeah, you can get lung. Or if you gossip, or if you talk bad about yourself, you know what I'm saying? That was my karma when I was born. This is why I dealt with depression in early in my life, because in my past life I used to talk bad about myself. I'm not good enough. I'm not bad enough, and I ended up developing asthma when I was born. I almost died. I didn't make it when I was almost didn't make it when I was born. My asthma was that bad, but it didn't come from me talking bad about people. It came from me talking bad about myself and my past life. And a psychic told me that. She said, "Yeah, you really downed yourself in your past life." And she's like, this is why you developed your asthma. I was like, what? That makes
Mm,
so much sense. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my issue. At that time, that was my issue. I'm talking bad about myself. I'm just not good enough. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Everybody winning except me. This is my mentality at a 20-year-old kid. Even though at the time I had my own apartment, I was good, but I had this negative mentality. I had to overcome that. And guess what happened? At 23 years old, my asthma went away. I haven't had an issue with asthma in years.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? But that's just me. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
so, and I'm gonna be blessed.
you didn't drink no tea, no exercise, nothing.
I swear, I've never had. Only time I had an issue with it was when in 2021, when I had ended up getting COVID, hit me in 2021, and I had pneumonia. And
Okay.
of course, because I had the fluid on my lungs, it kind of came back. But when all that fluid cleared out, it was gone again.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't take an asthma pump every day no more. None of that. So I'm saying that negative energy in life is what causes any of us. If I sprain my ankle today or break my leg, it's karma. I don't know what I did, but something happened for me to break my leg.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. You
that's
have
how it
it.
works.
I bet. Yeah, you have this. You were saying that every physical has a spiritual root cause.
Absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely, absolutely. So if you invite negative energy, really bad negative energy, it's going to attach to your aura first, and then it's going to turn to black dots. Sometimes I see this around people, and now all of a sudden your back start hurting. You don't know why your back hurt. Got a back problem. All of a sudden your legs start hurting. All of a sudden your sides start hurting and turn into a cancer or a disease. That's from holding in, harboring all that negative energy and never ever. And we know this is true. There's some of our elders, 60s, 70s, they never did a spiritual cleanse in their life. They done drink liquor. They done got into bar fights. You know what I'm saying? They done got in fights with their brothers and sisters. They don't talk bad at the job for years, and then all of a sudden they get sick. They never did a spiritual cleanse. That's why I know this generation, my generation, and y'all generation is more advanced. Because it's people that, well, no matter what's happening, y'all generation, y'all doing spiritual cleanses now. Y'all do spiritual baths. Y'all trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's different now. But back in the day, our elders, our grandparents, none of them did spiritual cleanses like that. It was a few who was to go see the root lady in the woods and they'll get spiritual cleansing. But 99% of people, they didn't do spiritual cleanses, bro. And
Wow.
it turned to heart disease, strokes, all this type of stuff.
Mm. Wow.
So I want to say that too. Like I believe one of the reasons why I'm still as good as I am is because I actually do a cleanse every month. I do a cleanse of my body every month. But at the end of the day, I'm a very positive person. I think positive. I keep high vibration energy on me. I keep my aura clean. All these things prevent. I ain't say it can prevent it forever, but it does prevent a lot of things that can attach to a person and make them sick.
Mm. Wow. That's a whole nother video right there.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we're gonna end it off with one more question. So, um, you would basically say healing your past heals the present, and once you heal your past, you heal the future. So the past, healing what you went through in your past is the most important thing.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay.
Because that what that does is set you up for the present to be a better person. If you're a better person now, every step you take forward is going to be better for you. See, it's all about getting to know who we really are. I'm not joking. Like, you find out things about yourself that blows you away. Like, you're like, man, I didn't know. Man, this makes sense. And da da da. Like, I know I'm a Buddha named the viral kind of Buddha. I found that out by letting go of my humanity. In my dreams, I'm meeting these entities. I'm Lord Indra. I'm meeting these entities, and I'm finding out I am these entities on my higher self. So now I got something to aim towards. You see what I'm saying? I got something to be proud of and say, okay, I need to keep pushing to become more of that, of what I see. But if I'm thinking about what my daddy did to me, my mama did to me, people always picked on me. I didn't have this growing up. I was molested. I was raped. Whatever it is, I become a victim of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that you shouldn't, that what happened, nobody should feel bad for you. But what I'm saying is you can't stay there, right? Sometimes that stuff you went through is a stepping stone so you can help somebody else get past it.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to get past it so you can help somebody else get past it. But when are you going to get past it? You can't be, I know people 50, 60 years old talking about they was molested and raped. That's horrible that that happened to you. But if you don't stop talking about that, you don't find a way to heal that, you will always be a victim. You can't grow. You can't grow. You got to
Mm-hmm.
get past that pain. I got a lot of pain that I never told people on YouTube, right? I overcame it all because you know what I really realized? It don't matter anyway. None of it matters. At this point in my life now, it don't matter.
Right.
It don't matter at all. And once you
Mm-hmm.
come to that realization that what happened to you has nothing to do with who you are today, then you can move past that. But some people think I am who I am based on what happened to me. I was in the streets and I had to survive. My mama, we didn't have no food in the house, so I had to do what I had to do. That's cool, but they ain't got nothing to do with who you are today, unless that's who you want to be.
Ooh.
You know,
Right.
and that's what people got to think about.
They might want to be that person in the back of their head.
Yeah, because people want to
Yeah.
be a victim. They want to be in a victim. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like I try to teach people about being in communities and be more indigenous and more having an open mindset, right? But if you think that the government owe you a funding you could never really move forward and be free. You know what I'm saying? Because you always
Yeah.
believe the government owe you. The government owe me nothing, and I
Hmm.
don't want nothing from the government. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's how you got to develop your mindset to fully be free. And your somehow, some way, the universe will make a way for you to open up where you can be what you want. I'm telling y'all, whatever your mind can perceive, if you believe it and you just start taking small steps towards it, maybe you don't got the money, right? Maybe you want to have, you dream about just having something simple. Like, I never lived in a nice house. My whole family was poor. I just want to live in a nice house one day, right? Whatever you want in your life, all you got to do is just take small steps towards it. Maybe you don't have the money. You say, well, I'm going to read a book about it. I'm going to go read magazines about it. Maybe I'm going to take a real estate class. You know, maybe I'm going to start looking at housing to see how people who buy cheap housing. And whatever you do, take small steps. And every time you take a step, the rest of the road appears in front of you.
Mm.
But you don't see it until you take that step. There's an Indiana Jones movie called, I think it was called Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And in the Indiana Jones movie, he had to walk across this open space between these two mountains. And it was all based on his faith, right? And he was scared to death. So he took it. He made the first step. The first guy he didn't make it. He fell down. But Indiana Jones took the first step. And then as he took the first step, the rest of the road appeared in front of him. The way was made. And that's what we have to understand as spiritual people, whether it's your spirituality, whether it's something in the physical world you want, you have to just have faith in what you're doing and believe in yourself. Know yourself first, because that's how you really love yourself. Self-love is knowing yourself. So once you know yourself and you take small steps towards what you want, somehow, some way, the rest of the road appears in front of you. A way will be made. I can guarantee that 100%, family. So have more faith in yourself.
Yes. All right, brother Yosef. I appreciate you. I know both gotta go, but man, you are
Gratitude.
truly. I appreciate the wisdom, and all the things you've been doing on this planet. And Ashe, we're gonna get another one on.
Thank you,
Anything else you
brother.
want to say?
Appreciate you. No, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate you for all the support over the years. I just want to see more people grow on the planet, man. Thank you for having me, my brother. Shout out to you and everything you're doing.
All right, I see.
Peace.